Do you truly believe you're free? That you decide your life, your achievements, your happiness? What if I told you that's a lie? That everything you're experiencing is the result of something you didn't even know existed? It's not your fault. That's how we were taught to live. But I'm going to tell you something that will turn your world upside down. What you attract into your life has nothing to do with effort, talent, or luck. It has to do with vibration. And believe me, you've been vibrating wrong for years. Have you noticed that everything around you is in constant motion? Nothing is still. Everything vibrates, including you. Your body isn't just flesh and bone. It's a mass of energy pulsating at high speed. If you could see yourself through an infrared camera in total darkness, you'd see an image completely different from what you're used to seeing in the mirror. You'd see a body glowing, emanating light, pure vibrating energy. And that vibration is exactly what attracts everything into your life. The question is, what vibration are you on right now? Because that determines what you'll attract tomorrow, the day after, and for the rest of your life. And here's a harsh truth. Most people are vibrating with scarcity, worry, and fear. And then they don't understand why they're constantly facing overdue bills, arguments at home, problems at work. It's simple. You only attract what's in harmony with your vibration. If you're vibrating in fear, you'll attract more situations that confirm that fear. If you're vibrating with gratitude, you'll attract more reasons to be grateful. Now, think for a moment about your daily life. When you wake up, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? Is it, what a wonderful day to create something new? Or, oh my God, another day of struggle? If you start your day complaining about traffic, your boss, the price of things, guess where you're tuning your frequency? To the station of problems, scarcity, and difficulty. And you know what's worst? This happens on autopilot. You don't even realize it, but you're programming your life to repeat the same results. I know how it is. I lived like that for a long time. I woke up thinking about bills, debts, how to get out of that hole. I just wanted to stop owing money. But here's what I discovered. The more I thought about debt, the more debt I attracted. The more I thought about what I didn't want, the more of it I had. Why? Because the universe doesn't understand I don't want. It responds to frequency. And my frequency was fear, worry, lack. Now, let me ask you, when you feel good, when you're excited, things seem to work out, don't they? You meet nice people, opportunities arise, everything flows. Is that a coincidence? No, that's vibration. When you're in a positive vibration, you become attuned to everything that's on that same frequency. Creative ideas, people willing to help, doors opening. It's like a radio. If you tune into the wrong frequency, there's no point complaining that you're not hearing the right music. And maybe you're thinking, but I don't know how to change my vibration. Life is hard. I have real problems. I understand. I did too. I know what it's like to have no perspective. But I discovered something simple and powerful. You can change your vibration right now just by changing your focus. Want an example? Do this with me now. Stop for a moment and think of 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be your health, the food you ate today, someone you love. Did you do it? Do you notice how you feel different? This isn't magic, it's science. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to change your frequency because it takes you out of fear and puts you into abundance. But here's the most important point. This isn't an exercise to do once in your life. It's a practice. If you want to change what you attract, you need to change how you feel every day. I challenge you to do this for 7 days. Every day when you wake up, before you pick up your phone, think of 3 things you're grateful for. Write them down if you can. And at night before you go to sleep, do the same. It seems simple, but I guarantee, if you really do this, you'll start to notice changes. You'll notice that things flow differently. I remember the exact moment I realized this in my own life. I was broke, hopeless, and decided to try. I started changing my thoughts, focusing on what I wanted instead of what I feared. And guess what happened? In less than a year, my income jumped from $4,000 to $175,000. Then it went over $1 million. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have experience. I didn't have anything that, by common standards, justified that. But I had something that few understand, the right vibration. So understand this. What you feel today is the magnet for what you'll attract tomorrow. If you want to change your reality, don't wait for the world to change. Change your vibration now, because the universe doesn't respond to what you desire with words, it responds to the frequency you emit with emotions. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. What vibration have you been emitting? Because the answer to that is the same as the question you always ask yourself. Why is my life like this? Have you ever stopped to think why some people seem to have all the opportunities and others, no matter how hard they try, remain stuck in the same place? It's not a lack of intelligence, nor a lack of education, nor luck. The reason lies in something almost no one talks about: your paradigm. And I need you to understand this, because this is where the key to your life lies. The paradigm is like an operating system that controls everything you do without you realizing it. It's in your subconscious and dictates 96% of your actions, decisions, and results. This means that even when you believe you're in control, most of the time it's this set of habits, beliefs, and patterns that have been formed since you were born that's in charge. Think about it. When you were a baby, you had no filter. Everything you heard, saw, and felt went straight into your subconscious. Things your parents said about money, phrases you heard about success, even fights you witnessed, all of that was recorded. And that programming became your basis for interpreting the world. Now answer me, do you think a person who grew up hearing that money is dirty, wealth is for the few, people with a lot of money aren't honest, will feel comfortable attracting wealth? Of course not. The subconscious will sabotage every attempt. And you know what's worst? That person can study, take courses, have a diploma hanging on the wall, but nothing changes. How many people do you know like that? Intelligent, knowledgeable, but living with financial difficulties? It's the paradigm. I myself was once trapped in this. When I started my life, I had no expectations. My results were terrible, and the truth is, I believed that was all I could have. My paradigm said, you're not intelligent, you're not educated, you're not going anywhere. And that's exactly what I attracted. Until one day someone handed me a book and said, if you do exactly what's in here, your life will change. Guess what happened? When I started applying it, I felt enormous discomfort. Everything seemed wrong. It felt like I was betraying my own nature. Why? Because I was trying to implant new ideas into a subconscious program for failure. And that's what happens to you. When you try to think positive, but something inside says, this isn't for me, the thing that wins is what's inside. That's why so many people start a business and give up. That's why so many people make New Year's resolutions, and by February, they've gone back to their old habits. Because it's no use changing your conscious mind if the paradigm remains the same. Now, let me explain something that will blow your mind. The paradigm is formed by repetition and emotion. It's not just about hearing a nice phrase and expecting everything to change. You need to repeat every day something new that replaces the old pattern. If today your paradigm says, money is hard, you need to put in something opposite, like, I attract money easily, I am worthy of abundance. And not just say it mechanically. You need to feel it. Imagine yourself living it. Vibrate with that emotion. That's when the subconscious mind begins to accept the new idea. Want a simple exercise that can transform your life? Get a notebook and write 10 times a day for 30 days the sentence, "I am abundant and money comes to me easily." But don't do this as a meaningless task. When you write it, close your eyes for a few seconds and see yourself living it. Feel the joy, the tranquility. This is training. Just as you learn to brush your teeth by repeating it every day, you will learn to think differently with daily practice. I know that maybe now you're thinking, this seems too simple to work. And I understand you. I thought so too. When I first heard it, my mind screamed, this is crazy. But I decided to try, and guess what happened? My life changed in a way I never imagined. In a year, I went from earning $4,000 to $175,000. Then, over $1 million. Not because I found a better job, not because someone gave me luck. I changed my paradigm, and when that happens, everything around you starts to change automatically. Think about it. If you put new software on a computer, it will start running differently, right? It's the same with you. Change the program and you change the results. But this requires courage, because leaving the old paradigm is uncomfortable. It's leaving your comfort zone. It's challenging everything you've believed your whole life. That's why so many people give up, because it's uncomfortable at first. But I promise you, this discomfort is the price of freedom. Now be honest. How many times have you tried to change your life and ended up back in the same place? How many times have you asked yourself, why do I feel stuck in a loop? That's the answer, your paradigm. And the good news is, you can change it. The question is, are you willing to pay the price of temporary discomfort to have the life you want? Because the only thing standing between you and the life of your dreams isn't luck. It isn't a crisis. It isn't anyone else. It's the programming running inside you. Change that, and everything changes. Fear is the most expensive emotion there is. It's silent, sneaky, and yet it can control your entire life if you let it. Think of all the opportunities you've missed because you thought, what if it goes wrong? Every time you back down, every time you hesitate, fear is there, whispering doubts, eroding your confidence, undermining your potential. And the worst part is, it's not real, it's just a thought, but with the power to shape your entire vibration. When you vibrate fear, the universe responds accordingly. It puts situations in front of you that confirm that fear, as if to say, oh, you think you can't? Here's more proof. It's an endless cycle, and it reinforces itself with every hesitation, every negative thought. But here's the good news. Fear is completely reversible. It only has power as long as you believe in it. And the first thing you need to understand is that fear isn't an enemy, it's a signal. It indicates exactly where your mind is out of sync with what you really want. For example, when you feel afraid to change jobs, to start a business, or to invest in something big, that's not a warning to stop. It's a sign that you're about to grow. Change starts with a simple question. What if it goes right? Notice how this shifts the energy of your thought. The mind is programmed to respond to questions and commands. When you say, what if it goes wrong? You create a field of destruction, stress, and insecurity. When you say, what if it goes right? You begin to open space for solutions, for courage, for opportunities you didn't even see before. And this isn't just philosophy. It's physics and neuroscience working together. Every time you change the question, you change the activation pattern in your brain. You change your emotional state, and consequently, you change your vibration. Now, I want you to think with me. How many times have you sabotaged yourself without realizing it? How many times has the fear of rejection, failure, criticism, or even success paralyzed you? It's incredible to realize that all of this happens in your mind before it even exists in the real world. And that's exactly why most people never achieve the life they dream of. They're trapped in a cycle of fear, and they don't even realize they have the power to break free. You can start small. The next time you feel that knot in your stomach, that tightness in your chest in the face of an important decision, tell yourself, what if it goes right? What if I have the courage to move forward now, even with fear? Do this with intention. Take a deep breath. Feel the energy of possibility. Visualize the positive outcome. Over time, you'll realize that fear doesn't magically disappear, but it loses its power over you. It becomes just an indicator, a reminder that you're about to grow, and no longer an executioner that paralyzes you. Besides, if fear were a good advisor, think about it. The hen would be CEO of KFC, wouldn't she? Fear tries to convince you that staying safe is better, but real life rewards those who act despite it. Every great achievement, every extraordinary success you admire began when someone chose to face fear, when someone said, "I'm not going to let this stop me." And that's exactly what's available to you right now if you decide to change your frequency, to vibrate courage instead of doubt, to create opportunities instead of blockages. Fear only has power when you allow it. So the choice is yours. Continue trapped by what you fear, or begin to taste the flavor of freedom, of confidence, of the courage that opens doors to results that once seemed impossible. Every time you choose to act despite fear, you reprogram your mind, change your vibration, and inevitably change your entire life. There's no use waiting for the government, your boss, or the economy to do something for you. Nothing out there will change until you change from within. The world reflects your vibration exactly. If you keep complaining, muttering that it's difficult, that the situation is bad, that life is unfair, you are, in fact, issuing clear commands to the universe. Keep bringing more of the same. With every negative sentence, every thought of powerlessness, you reinforce old patterns and keep your life in the same place. Now imagine if you said, "I am the creator of my reality." Repeat that to yourself now. Feel each word. Feel like it's true. Because it is true, change begins in the mind. And here's the detail that most people don't understand. Thinking positive occasionally changes nothing. Real reprogramming requires consistency. It requires discipline. It requires you to consciously decide to cut all the lines of sabotage that come from negative thinking. A powerful exercise that I recommend is this. For 21 days, absolutely nothing negative about money. No jokes, no complaints, no conversations about financial difficulties. If you slip up, start over. It seems difficult, but that's exactly what creates change. Why? Because your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between a joke and reality. It registers everything as a command. So every time you complain, even unintentionally, you're sending orders to continue in scarcity. But when you interrupt the habit of speaking negatively, when you consciously decide to emit thoughts of creation and abundance, you begin to see the world reorganizing itself according to your new frequency. I've also been in that place. I complained about everything, the weather, money, opportunities, life, until I realized that complaining wasn't just a waste of time. It was an invitation to the universe to bring me more of the same. The moment I stopped and truly committed to not emitting those negative frequencies, life began to change. Money began to flow, doors began to open, opportunities arose as if I had activated a new tuning. And it wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was a direct consequence of changing my vibration. And here's the key. Nothing will change until you decide that you will assume total responsibility for your mind and your energy. The universe doesn't respond to desire, it responds to frequency. When you decide to vibrate creation instead of complaint, abundance instead of scarcity, courage instead of fear, you begin to see concrete, tangible results. Life ceases to be a cycle of frustration and becomes a flow of growth, opportunities, and achievements. The point is that transformation doesn't depend on external factors. It doesn't depend on your boss, the economy, the country, the market. It depends on you. It depends on what you choose to think, feel, and emit every day. And when you begin to apply this consistently, you realize that the power has always been in your hands, that you are the creator, the architect, the master of your own reality. Every thought, every word, every emotion counts. Every conscious choice pushes your life to a completely different level. And that's exactly where true freedom, true prosperity, true fulfillment begins. Think of Oprah Winfrey. She wasn't born rich. She suffered abuse, went hungry, faced rejections that could have destroyed anyone. But she understood early on something that most people take a long time to understand. It's not the external situation that creates wealth or success, it's the mind. She knew she needed to change her mentality, her frequency, before changing her reality. And that's exactly what she did. She began to align her thoughts, feelings, and actions with abundance, with opportunity, with confidence. And the result? Today, she is a billionaire. Not because she was lucky, not because the world conspired in her favor, but because she became, above all, a person in tune with what she wanted to attract. Now, observe the other side. There are people who win the lottery, receive millions overnight, and yet end up poor a few years later. Why? Because the money changed, but the internal paradigm remained poor. They didn't know how to maintain, manage, or expand what they had received. The problem was never the money. The problem was the mind that wasn't programmed for prosperity, abundance, and growth. Money is simply a reflection of the inner frequency. Change the mind and money and opportunities will follow. This serves as a powerful warning. You can have all the tools, all the external opportunities, but if your mentality isn't aligned with success, everything will be lost. It's the difference between someone who builds solid and lasting wealth and someone who merely goes through the illusion of temporary wealth. And we're not just talking about money, we're talking about relationships, health, creativity, career. Everything in life is a reflection of your frequency, your inner vibration. And here's the deepest detail. Observing examples like Oprah or people who have lost everything is not just inspiration or a warning. It's a practical demonstration that changing the inner frequency is the only way to change external results. It's like turning on the switch of the right energy within you. When you change your mind, change your paradigm, change your frequency, you literally begin to attract everything that once seemed impossible. Doors open, people appear, opportunities arise, and the universe begins to respond according to the new tuning you have chosen to emit. The lesson is clear. Don't expect life to hand you anything while your mind is still vibrating at a frequency of scarcity. It's not a raise, an external opportunity or luck that will transform your reality. It's you, adjusting your mindset, shifting your thoughts, raising your vibration, and consciously becoming deserving of what you desire. Those who understand this, like Oprah, transform obstacles into springboards, limitations into stepping stones, and dreams into tangible achievements. And that's exactly what's within your reach right now, if you choose to take complete control of your mind and your frequency. Everything you need to transform your life is already in your hands. It all begins and ends with your mind. The universe's energy flows constantly to and through you, responding to the frequency you emit. The big question is, how are you shaping that energy? Are you vibrating fear, doubt, and scarcity, or are you vibrating faith, courage, and abundance? Every thought you allow, every emotion you nurture, every conscious or unconscious decision you make is literally creating your reality. Think about it. No one else can do this for you. No one can vibrate courage or confidence in your place. No one can program your mind for prosperity beyond what you choose to allow. And here's the point most people miss. Shifting your frequency isn't some abstract or too spiritual concept. It's science and practice combined. Every cell in your body responds to your mind. Every thought sends signals to your subconscious. Every feeling creates energy fields that attract corresponding experiences. Life isn't a series of accidents. It's a direct reflection of your internal vibration. So the decision before you is simple yet powerful. Will you continue to allow thoughts and emotions of scarcity to dominate your daily life? Or will you consciously choose to change your frequency? Will you let fear control your choices? Or will you take command of your mind and vibrate abundance? Every moment of doubt, every negative word, every thought of insufficiency is like placing blocks in the path of what you desire. But every thought of confidence, every feeling of gratitude, every inspired action is like opening the floodgates and allowing the flow of opportunities, resources, and achievements to inundate your life. And here's something important. This change doesn't have to be complicated. Start small but be consistent. Observe your thoughts, question them, replace them with thoughts that uplift. Feel genuine gratitude every day. Visualize your goals as if they were already a reality. Speak words of creation instead of complaint. Over time, these practices transform not only your mind, but also your vibration and, inevitably, your entire life. If this sounds weird to you, great. It means your mind is breaking free, that you're beginning to see possibilities that once seemed impossible. Real transformation happens when you begin to feel the power of your own energy, when you realize you don't need to wait for external conditions or permission from anyone. The power is within you, here and now. Every positive thought, every inspired action, every moment of courage is a step toward a life that once seemed unattainable. The choice is yours. Remain at the frequency of doubt and fear, or raise your vibration to a harmony of abundance, opportunity, and fulfillment. Every conscious step you take in the direction of your own energy creates a domino effect, attracting people, situations, and resources that confirm this new reality. And when you understand this, when you truly feel that everything you need is already in your hands, you become unbeatable. You become the true creator of your own life, capable of transforming any challenge into a stepping stone for your growth. The biggest secret most people ignore is the power of focus. Where you place your attention, you place your energy, and that's what grows. It's that simple. Everything you observe, everything you think about intensely begins to manifest in your life. If you spend entire days worrying about problems, past mistakes, or fearing the future, guess what? Those are the fields you're cultivating. The mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, they grow. If you plant seeds of abundance, gratitude, and action, the soil of your life flourishes. I've experienced this firsthand. For years, my attention was focused on debt, financial worries, and limitations, and nothing worked out, until I realized I was watering exactly what I didn't want. That's when I started training my mind to focus only on what I desired: opportunities, solutions, growth. I began to visualize each goal as if it were already achieved, to feel the emotion of victory before it even arrived. And little by little, reality began to align with this new frequency. My focus became my magnet. But focus isn't just about wishing for something or thinking positively once in a while. It's total attention, it's discipline, it's consciously choosing where you place your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions many times a day, every day. A practical exercise that works. Write down 3 clear goals every morning and throughout the day. Whenever your mind wanders to fear, doubt, or complaint, immediately return your attention to those goals. Do this for 30 days. You'll see that the mind, when trained, becomes your most powerful ally, and life begins to conspire in your favor. And here's the part that changes everything. It's not just about achieving external results, like money or recognition. Focusing correctly changes who you are inside. You become more confident, more resilient, more creative. Solutions appear naturally, opportunities you didn't see before emerge, and the right people enter your life. It's as if the universe says, finally, you're ready to receive. If this seems too simple, it's because it is. But simple doesn't mean easy. It requires practice, attention, and consistency. And the effect is cumulative. The more you direct your focus to what you want, the more you become the person capable of attracting, creating, and maintaining what once seemed impossible. Focus is the bridge between you and the life you want. The question is, will you cross it every day, or will you continue to be lost, wasting energy on distractions that build nothing? The choice is in your hands, and every conscious decision of focus is a direct step toward a reality that reflects exactly the person you are becoming. The most important point you need to take away from this is that everything begins and ends with your mind. The frequency you emit, the thoughts you choose to nourish, the attention you place on what truly matters. If you change your vibration, if you take responsibility for what you think and feel, if you direct your focus to creation and not to scarcity, you will be paving the way for extraordinary results in your life. And now, I want you to take the next step. In the video that's appearing on the screen, you'll climb another rung on your ladder of wisdom, learning how to become just 1% better than you are now. But believe me, this continuous improvement makes all the difference. Thank you for being here, for dedicating your time and energy to growth. I'll see you in the next video, ready to take another leap toward the life you deserve to create.